Mic'd up.
From Lowlifes.
Knocked us all off.
Highlights from Lowlifes.
Oh man.
So
I
that's
just
the
came
first time
back.
I've played audio, and everything went black when I played it. So
Exactly. Same here.
Everything froze up. Everything froze up. That's pretty
All
cool.
right.
How do you do that?
Well, welcome to another episode of Highlights from Lowlifes. Our episode today is all about our top minor league moments. With us today are Marty Brown,
Captain.
Nice.
Terry Lee,
Hi all.
and on remote assignment together, Rob, Lannerman and Weber.
Hey, Rob. Hey, Rob.
Yeah.
Do you know that Edgar Martinez is in the Hall of Fame?
I do now.
So as you can see, Rob and Rob are outside. They are on assignment at a minor league game, the Stockton Ports, with a bunch of our friends and people that may not want to be called our friends.
And a bunch of Almanac beer with us.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. Hey boys, tell us where you're at. What's going on over there?
Well, tonight is the opening night for the Silver Sluggers Club, which is every Wednesday home game. The Silver Sluggers assemble, so it's anybody can join, and just that can be their season ticket, just the Wednesday night games. So we're here to get our T-shirts, which appear to be purple this year. So that should be yes, that's an interesting color. We're gonna look like a Cabernet when it's all done.
So since you guys are operational at the moment, why don't you guys start with number 5?
Rob, would you like to go first?
Sure. Trying to be conscientious of the shadows on our faces, which I guess is a thing. So there. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. I'll just squint through it. All right. So my number. Are we doing top 5 or are we just doing roundtable? What are we doing?
Top 5.
Top 5.
Top 5.
Okay. I only had 5 anyway. I will go back to 1977. My family and I were traveling. We went to visit some friends in Des Moines, Iowa, and knowing my minor league experience up to that point had basically been the Sacramento Solons maybe 3 or 4 times, and I hadn't really been to a lot of minor league games, and definitely hadn't been to anything out of our area. So I moved the speaker to get the shadows away, is what I did, and then I was really insistent on going to a Iowa Oaks game from the American Association. They were the AAA affiliate of the White Sox. They were in town while we were there. So the oldest son of the family we were staying with, and a couple of his friends and I went out to the Iowa Oaks game, and they have, if you were a baseball card collector in like the mid 70s, there was a bunch of guys that made the majors, and none of them were very good. But you kept getting all of the Jack Kuchek and Mike Squires and Lee Richard were all these guys. You'd always get their cards, and like, who the hell are these guys?
Who?
Yeah, exactly. But I had their cards, and I got to see them play. I guess Lamar Hoyt was there too, but he wasn't very good at that point. So I got to see those guys play, and it was a 10-inning extra inning game, and they beat Wichita in the 10th inning. BB Richard got on base on an infield hit where then they threw the ball away, throwing the ball back to the pitcher. So he took second, and then the legendary Mike Squires got a line drive into the gap, and BB Richard scored from second. But that was the first, I call that my first minor league game, even though I'd been to some Sacramento Solons games. That was the first time I actually went to a game somewhere else, and we had a blast. And so for me, that's a huge memory, and BB Richard will live on with me as a legend because of that night.
Nice. BB Richards.
Yep, Lee Richard. They just called him BB. He was small, a lot. So, there you go.
Excellent.
Want Weber to go?
Yes.
Sure.
We got a special guest.
Ooh. Hey, Captain JC, how are you?
He looks like a giant. He looks like a giant grape.
You just want to squeeze him.
Hey, a bunch of corpulent grapes here. Please.
Captain JC, do you have a number 5 minor league baseball
Yeah,
moment?
they're all in our comments.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah,
right.
I already
It's okay.
put it in.
Oh, cool.
We'll just wing it here.
All right, get the hell out of here. Come here, Rob.
All
You're
right,
up.
Okay. Mid 70s, just moved to California, and my dad took me down to San Jose Municipal Stadium to see Eddie Feiner. Do you know who he is? Eddie Feiner is the king in his court.
Oh,
The softball guys.
For those I got a quick story about him too.
It's amazing. He pitches. He's got a catcher. The catcher used to be former major leaguer Johnny Bateman. He has a first baseman and an outfielder. One
that's it. Yeah.
of them will play anyone at any time, and they will win. They go across the country. So they had an exhibition softball game against the best team in San Jose, and they blew them away. Just blew them away. He has all kinds of weird, funny motions where he can deke you out. For those of you who have never seen it before, YouTube The King in His Court, and you will see strike out in succession Willie Mays, Duke Snyder, and Willie McCovey. Nobody
Wow.
got a nobody. Yes, it's softball distance, but still, you would think they would get a foul ball or something. But I was absolutely amazed. It was so much fun to watch, and I didn't know what I was in for. My dad was all excited because he had seen him several years earlier. So that's my number 5 moment at a minor league game. Okay. All right.
Very nice.
Jeff, what do you got?
A few years back, I went to a River Cats game with a handful of people that are probably somewhere in that parking lot with Rob and Rob. A guy named Matlin and a guy named Tetlow and a guy named Arthur, and they had seats right on the third base line, where I got to see the only time I got to see a true 100% major leaguer down on a rehab assignment. And that was, we were right next to Kung Fu Panda playing third base.
All right, cool.
Pablo Sandoval.
Yep. And
Wow.
I didn't realize how close we were to the field, but there's not a lot of foul territory between the third base line and the first row of seats at that part of the park. So it was pretty cool.
Especially compared to the Oakland A's Coliseum.
Exactly. That's my number 5. Marty?
Good pick, Jonesy.
Yeah, thanks. Minor league baseball is not only, it's not just the game itself, but what goes on around it. Another grape. There's another grape.
This is the first podcast in history to have 2 left-handed pitchers on at the same time.
Wow.
And the one of the great things about minor league baseball is, of course, the promotions. And I'm going to tie in 2 of them at once, both as my number 5, because only in minor league baseball do you have the beer batter, or as they call it now, the K batter. So this is the guy who in the opposing lineup that strikes out, and the beer is cheap at a designated spot in the ballpark or for a designated time. So they do it at the Aces game. But the big story is the one time that Jonesy got on my case about doing it at the Ports game.
Happy New Year, Chris. Good to see you.
Now, I was trying to be proactive and not get into the long. They got the K batter, cheap beer, and I was trying to not get into the long line. So I got into the short line next to the stands. but the guy doesn't. His keg ran out. They didn't know how to tap a keg, and by the time I got it, was an inning and a half later. And Jonesy never let me forget the fact that I got lost in the Stockton Port Stadium just trying to get cheap beer. But nonetheless, it's a memory of minor league baseball that you don't get anywhere else,
So
and it's the K batter or the beer batter. So Terry, take it from here.
All right. Well, here I've got a. First of all, I've got a sign here. It's a sign, baby.
Oh, there we go.
Nice.
Our love to you, Yvonne. Hang in there, baby. We're rooting for you. We're all there for you. Okay. All right. So.
Yeah.
All right. Here's my number 5. Back in 2005, there was a young man who came into the Stockton Ports, which is the single A team, and he's a catcher. His name is Kurt Suzuki. I got to see him live a long time ago, and that's it. It was
Gee.
it was not exciting, but on a side note, the king in his court. He came to Los Angeles when I was living there. I played against him. I got a
You
hit.
did? You
I got a
did?
hit. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I look like a pull hitter, so the solo outfielder, he played off to the left. I swung so late, I hit one off to the right, and it was fair, and I got a single, and I was so happy. I was so happy. The king in his court picked me up with a flip behind his back. I can say I got a hit off him, but I can say he picked me off in the first 3 minutes of me getting on base.
you pissed him off.
Oh, I did. He was bummed. Well, he was shocked. I mean, he pitched at like 100 miles an hour softball speed, and I basically lucked out, stuck my bat out, and I chip shotted it. It was like a slap shot to right field. All right, let's go on to number 4. Marty?
Oh, all right, right back. Okay. All right, hold on. Once again, it's not quite so much the minor league baseball, and we'll get to the players in a little bit, but the events that happen in a minor league game. And this was a hey, again, Jeff was around for most of this. How long did the Solano Steelheads last?
Only a couple of years.
Only a couple. Yeah, yeah. But they had one of the greatest, and may have mentioned this before, but one of the greatest promotions I've ever seen, and it won't last anymore today. But they picked a guy out of the stands, and they brought him out and to have him stand in one of those plastic portable summer pools for it that had as a kid. And then they brought out literally a dead fish, a big old steelhead dead fish. And to win, you had to toss the fish, just like they do now at the fish market in Seattle. You had to toss the fish into the other plastic pool, but 15 feet away. So and the baseball was it was independent league baseball. It was fun. It was good. But the takeaway was literally throwing a dead fish from one plastic pool into the other. So that's always stuck in my mind, which probably tells you an awful lot about me. And I'll shut up now. Jeff, take it from here.
Wait, Marty,
Yeah,
who won the game?
I did.
All right. My number 4 is the same as Marty's number 5 with a different ending.
Oh,
So it was the first time I'd been to a minor league game that had a beer batter, and Marty did leave and after 2 strikes try to go and get in line quick and get a beer, and they struck out. And Marty left and didn't return for 2 innings. He did not tell me that he had to go to different lines and all this stuff. What he said was, "I met two girls."
Oh.
So
If
take
you-
whatever fact you want out of that as true story.
Ah.
And if you drag me into court, I'll deny it. But
Terry,
All right, number 4. The year was 2000, AAA Sacramento. It was a pitcher, Barry Zito.
ooh,
That's when he was young and he actually could. Weber can get this. He could actually throw faster than his number.
Ooh.
His number is 75, and by the end of his career, he couldn't throw his number. All right, that's it for me on number 4.
we got the Robs.
Rob's.
All right. Who do you want to go first?
Sure, I will. Go for it.
Yeah.
I college in Stockton, and my fraternity was just a few blocks away from the old Port Stadium, Billy Hebert Field. And we used to go over there all the time. It was like $1 to get in for students, and I think most of my highlights are going to be from that. But my favorite highlight in college was the at the Stockton Ports game, where they sold like a cup of beer for 5 cents, and it was crappy beer. You know, it was like Natty Light or one of those crappy things, but still, you go up and ask for 14 beers, please. And I saw a lot of guys coming up for the beers that time, like Garrett came through there, 6'2" Lescano. You remember 6'2" Lescano.
Toe.
Who?
Yeah. He had 6 toes, both feet.
And saw Gorman Thomas play on a rehab assignment, but that was always a lot of fun, just walking over to Billy Hebert Field. And a few years ago, we had a tournament out there for those of us that play in the baseball league together. We played in the tournament, so it was really cool to be able to play at the original Stockton Ports facility and this new beautiful facility here at Banner Island behind us that you can't see because of the camera. So anyway, that's a big memory for me, all those nights at Billy Hebert Field, just in general. A lot of fun.
All right.
All right, Webb.
Who remembers the mid 80s in San Jose? The San Jose Bees, minor league team that was playing, I believe, Class A or Class AA at the time. And the owner, Harry Steve, decided that he would give former major leaguers a second chance at their career. These would mostly be folks that got dinged for taking drugs. Hang in there, Yvonne. That's correct.
Yeah, Yvonne just chimed in on the whatever you call it.
comments
on the
field.
comment section. I'm just
Yeah.
making sure now that she's on.
Okay.
That Terry's a master of words, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys say I drink too much. All right, fine.
I apologize, Marty. Terry's a better good talker.
Better good.
So Harry Steve decided to give all these folks a second chance.
Harry Steve sounds like needs a little manscape.
That's right. No, this is a different guy. So Ken Reitz, Daryl Sconyers. The biggest one was Steve Howe.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They all played in San Jose. They all were get their lives back on track after being caught with drugs or gambling or whatever. And it all came to a crash day when Harry came forward and said, "I don't think baseball is good for Steve Howe. I encourage him to quit baseball now and get the help that he needs." seasons. Shortly thereafter, they became the San Jose Giants. So I did get to see a few of those games at the Muni Stadium. It was interesting to see all these former major leaguers playing single A baseball. So.
San Jose Bees were affiliated with who?
Nobody.
Independent.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Wow.
All right. Hey, moving on to what's next, Jeff? You're in charge of this circus.
It's a little part that we like to call "What You Drinking."
What you drinking? This is my favorite show.
So let's save the live feed out in the park for last. Marty, what do you got?
I'm going with the flow tonight. Almanac straight beer. Almanac's West Coast Pale Ale. I guess that's different from a different pale ale because it's good. Yeah. So there you go, Terry.
Yeah, it's tasty.
It's a nice IPA. You're not trying to chomp through the hops like some of the regular IPAs. It goes down real well, and it's a classic. It's very good. Go with the flow. Jeff, what are you drinking? Don't tell me.
As usual.
Course.
Nice.
Nothing new here. Still my favorite.
Why is it your favorite, Jeff? You never tell us why.
Because the speech that you gave me to say in the first 5 episodes has been said so many times that I don't think I need to say it anymore. Terry, you got anything to say about the flow?
Well, did you guys know that this Almanac Flow West Coast Pale Ale has El Dorado hops, creating tropical aromas of ripe melon, fresh berries, and refreshing citrus.
Hey, he's onto something here. I see
Flow.
that. Hey, he's got it.
The Flow Pale Ale.
Yeah.
Boys? Rob?
Ouch. Somebody just hit me. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I'm drinking, of course, the Almanac. Oh, I got to get in the sunlight, don't I? The Porch Light Lager. I found some more of this. It is delicious, full flavored, yet still easy to drink, light body, and as we like to say, like a moth to a light, I'm drawn to this beer.
I've heard that. We've heard that before.
There's a bunch of books in this parking lot drinking Almanac beer too. It's crazy.
Yeah, JC, what do you got? Oh, that's a good one.
Mexican lager.
That's a good one.
The Oktoberfest, the German lager.
Oh,
Teddy Bear.
Very
boy,
nice. Courtesy of JC, I might add.
Nice.
You guys get around. Wow.
Weber's not around anymore, but he's drinking the new plum sour Chardonnay kettle-based Gose sour beer.
This is my opportunity not to drink sour. I'm having a IPA. This is the greatest day of my life.
So, thank you to Almanac, Alameda, California, one of America's premier craft brewers. Stop by and visit them. Tell them you saw them on the Highlights from Lowlife show. They will take pity upon you. Just keep whining. They will eventually take pity on you.
Nice.
Yes, they did.
Before we move on, a couple of audio clips for us.
Boo, Zito. Boo.
And a follow-up to that.
Cheers, boys. Have fun. Thank you so much. Wish I could be there.
Hang in there, baby.
Take care, Vonnie. But she's not done.
Jonesy, your can's looking a little old. I think you need a refresher.
Yeah. Hey, my wife's talking about your can.
I'm not going to say anything about my can. All right, let's move on to. Oh wait, before we move on, something about the T-shirts.
All right.
Hey, does that make them purple people eaters?
Nice job, Dave Hall.
All right, number 3. Let's start with Terry.
Number 3. Number 3. Okay, 2004. A pitcher, and this is in Fresno, which is the single A San Jose team at the time.
Nice move, JC.
In Fresno. Matt Cain. I got to see Matt Cain live.
Oh, now I remember.
Nice.
And here's a little side note. The Fresno Grizzlies, their specialty food are Fresno tacos. Jonesy?
This story's been told on this podcast a couple of times before, but I'm just going to bring it up again. Marty and I at a minor league game. Between innings, they play little games. One of them is let's bring out a big 1970s Cadillac style boat car onto the field, and 2 players will throw baseballs at and the first one to break a headlight wins. But after the contest, they can't get the car to start, and they have broken glass on the field, and the next inning is halted until they can actually push the car off the field.
And,
Literally
and
push
vacuum up the glass.
Yes.
I'm guessing that that didn't go very long.
I never saw it again. Marty?
Rob touched on it about cheap beer. It reminded me that in a previous, long ago, it seems like a previous life, back in the early 80s, believe it or not, I ran Chuck E. Cheese Pizza in Salinas, California. Now, right across the street was the Salinas Fairgrounds, where the Salinas Spurs was an independent California league team. And Rod talked about nickel beer. It wasn't quite that. It was a quarter beer night at the Salinas Spears. So, and the glasses were 3 ounces, but it took about 4, and they didn't limit it. So it took about 4 innings to change the point of emphasis from the game to the idiot with the big tray walking up the stands, totally inebriated, to see how far he would get before he trips and it crashes all over him. So it was quite entertaining. Not quite for baseball, but for the entertainment value in the stands. And I always remember that. I forget the name of one of the teams in the league. Whenever they came to town, we had to keep a couple of people behind, because they would always, after the game, cross the street on Saturday night, and we'd had to host them with pizza and beer. Don't remember any of the names or anything I plays, but it's always just sit and talk baseball with those guys is always a pleasure. And I wouldn't get home till 2, 3 in the morning, but what the heck? Didn't care. Great time. Salinas Spurs. Terry, go ahead. Number 3.
I did.
I think it's up to the
went
Robs.
3.
Rob's? Okay, great. Thanks.
The Ballpark Boys. Talking about the Stockton Ports again in the old Billy Hebert Field, I got to see Mike Krukow pitch on a rehab start in 1986. He was pitching for Fresno, and they were playing Stockton. We pretty much didn't go to class that day, and made our way over to Billy Hebert for a day game where Krukow got to throw right before he went back to the Giants in 1986 on a short rehab stint. So that was a blast. That was really cool. Because we were all, 1986 was the year when the Giants were relevant again. So that was a great day. It was just a good time. I really remember watching him pitch, and he pitched well, 6 innings, and got himself ready to go back to Candlestick. And I think Marty is going to bring a visual aid.
Oh, there you go.
No.
Oh no!
Is this a PowerPoint?
That's right. That's a Kruko 38
That was his,
jersey.
that was the All-Star game jersey. Yeah. So there you go.
Here's this mook.
Yeah, just discovered that these are stickers on the almanac. Take them off and decorate your walls, Marty. This could be your background on the walls.
What? How drunk are you that got you to try to peel off a sticker off a beer can in a parking lot in Stockton? Now you want to downgrade me? Come on, give me a break.
This is my first beer.
Even worse.
We're gonna stick them all over JC's car.
All right. I can't remember the year. We were at San Jose Muni again, and I was whisked away by a few friends because they had a special surprise. We were going to see a superstar in the making. So we went out to San Jose Muni to see a new player on the San Jose Giants by the name of Bobby Bonds Jr. Let me just tell you, he was not Bobby Bonds. He was not Barry Bonds. He probably wasn't as good as his mom could have been on the field. He looked the part. He was a decent looking athlete, but he couldn't hit. He couldn't field. There were a couple of fly balls to the outfield that Bobby Bonds Jr. He didn't touch. You know, it's okay to drop, but you can't drop until you actually touch the ball. Bobby went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts and a grounder back to the mound, and dropped two. I should say missed 2 fly balls in the outfield. His career didn't last much more than that season. I'm sure he was given a little leeway because of his name, but he was awful. So yes, I remember that experience. All right, we the end of that round.
Yes.
Okay.
On to round 2.
Jeff, you're in charge.
All right, I'll go. I didn't get to see a whole lot, at least I don't remember seeing a whole lot of the up and coming superstar, but I did see the end of a career. And Marty remembers this as well. We took the family to to Reno for the weekend, a long 4th of July weekend, and had tickets to back-to-back Reno Aces games. There was only one guy on the Reno Aces roster I remember as a name that had a couple of cups of coffee in the pros and did a lot, and his name was Cody Decker.
You took my number 1.
And he wasn't playing in the starting lineup. And the end of the game came, and Reno is down, and Cody Decker comes up and hits a walk-off pinch hit home run. And then the next game, he's not there. He's not in the lineup. He's not on the roster. And we found out after the game, after he hit his walk-off, he flew home to Arizona and retired.
Yep.
He just said, no better time than that. I'm out.
Yep.
Wow.
Walk off game winner and retires.
Not bad.
Yeah, 197 home runs in the minor league, a couple of cups of coffee with the big guys, and what a way to go out! A pinch hit, game winning 2-run homer. Yep.
Hey, we have breaking news here at the ballpark.
Okay.
Breaking news.
Taylor Swift is in a luxury suite. Cheers, Taylor. So that's pretty awesome. It's a big night here at Banner Island.
All right, Marty.
You know, it's again, what happens in the ballpark is sometimes more exciting than the game itself. And I got to go back to the 1987 to Cheney Stadium. That's the home stadium of the Tacoma Rainiers. Has been there for many, many years. As a matter of fact, I grew up as a kid in that area, and my grandparents would take me to Cheney Stadium, and that's pretty much my first experience with minor league baseball.
So you went to a Chitty Stadium.
Yes.
So,
Anything else you care to add at this time?
how was the beer? Was it Chitty beer?
I was a kid. Give me a break.
Extra Chitty too?
Cheney Stadium. Cheney Stadium. Who invited him? Anyway, again, this was 87, and I was in my early 20s, and I was with my brother and grandma got my grandmother, and we're at the game, and we kept looking around in the stands, and in the stands was one of my childhood legends. And we discussed this before when we talked about our childhood legends on the. It was Sonny Six Killer. He was the quarterback of the Washington Huskies in the early 70s, led him to kind of prominence in the pro. And I said, and I kept saying to my brother, "That's what would Sonny Six Killer be doing at a Tacoma Rainiers game?" And I turned to Grandma. I said, "Why would Sonny Six Killer be doing at a Tacoma Rainiers game?" So I was a chicken shit. My brother was a chicken shit. My grandmother got up and walked over to him and said, "Are you Sonny Six Killer?" And he said, "Yes." She said, "What are you doing at a Tacoma Rainiers game?"
What do
And
you
the
say?
answer was?
Her brother, the brother-in-law, was the catcher for the other team, the Las Vegas Stars. And you may have heard of this guy. He didn't make it big time, but Mark Parent was
Oh
a
yeah.
catcher. Yeah, but played for a number of teams throughout that, and up to a few years ago was the bench coach of the White Sox. So so it's not exactly what's going on in the stand on the field or promotions, but what's in the stands. Sunday Six Killer at a ball game, and I got introduced Mark Parent.
All those catches are tough.
Yeah.
Damn straight, yeah. Especially the lefties. Nice hat, by the way.
Thank you, sir. Right here.
Rob, go ahead. Since you didn't like my Cheney line,
Oh no, I thought
you go ahead. You think you can do better? Go
I
ahead.
thought you said you went to a Chitty Stadium. So I just misunderstood. Simple
No, that's
misunderstanding.
the Titty Stadium, and that's later. So
No.
we won't talk about that.
Yeah. The foul pole is something different there. So anyway,
No kidding.
um, I my other memory and next memory is in Stockton again. Stockton Ports playing the Fresno Grizzlies, where 1 year, 1 season, Will Clark played in the minor leagues, and I saw him multiple times there. And we actually drove down to Fresno for a couple of games to see Will Clark play in the minor leagues. So I don't remember. I mean, I don't remember him being spectacular. I just remember us being excited that like this was our future. And the guy did have an amazing swing. I mean, I do remember that just the swing of the bat and that high finish he used to have. It was beautiful. And so I saw him, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, I guess, when he that single season he played in the minor leagues, and I yeah, that really stood out to me. So there you
Hey,
go.
Rob, how many Clark 22 jerseys have been retired? Caitlin Clark's jersey just got retired. There's some really good players that with the name Clark.
Yeah, and Jack Clark was my guy. I mean, I wore 22 all my life because of Jack Clark, and then Will Clark was just like added bonus on top of that. So yeah, there's one
Do you play
retired, but
basketball like Caitlin Clark?
no,
No, I'm sure he didn't play basketball like Caden
I
Clark.
play basketball like Will Clark. Hey, pass me the ball! Pass me the ball! Let's let Weber get up there and say something
All right.
insane.
So early 1980s, family vacation to Hawaii. And what do I want to do? I want to go to see a minor league baseball game, the Hawaii Islanders.
Yes.
Now, playing baseball in Hawaii at times can present some difficulties. It's the Islanders played in an all-purpose stadium used for football and soccer. So they had a fence that would be dragged out through a series of tunnels that were embedded on the field. So everything was AstroTurf, and they had to pull this fence out so they'd have it all set for baseball.
Is this where the NFL All-Star Game is played?
Correct. Not anymore for various reasons, but the problem was the game was delayed an hour and a half because the fence got so rusted it wouldn't work through the channels and move to the across the field. So they entertain the fans by doing various baseball activities on the field, but they didn't start the game for an hour and a half until they could get the fence unstuck and dragged across the field. I'll always remember that. And then the rest of my family complaining that they were watching a baseball game while on vacation in Hawaii. So, all right, Jeff, is that the end of that round?
That's the end of round 2. Do you want to talk about shows on Mic'd Up?
Well, you don't want to?
You got it.
All right. We're, of course, watching this on the Mic'd Up app. The folks at Mic'd Up have created a platform for folks to watch content. We've got an Android app and an Apple app that you can download. It's free, and you can watch shows like ours on the platform. You can register yourself within the app, watch the show, and at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a microphone. If you click on that, you can leave us a comment or a question about what we're talking about. And if we like it, we'll play it on the air. This is a proof of concept show, and there are some other shows on the platform that are the same. Earlier today, Jim Darby from Easton Sports was on, and he did a show talking about his 40 years with Easton, his favorite moments and funniest moments that he came across. He's spent some time with Pete Rose, a lot of time with John Elway, Dan Reeves, and Warren Buffett. So take a listen to his show from 4 o'clock earlier today. It'll be up on your past shows in the app. You can see up past shows in the app. Rick Barry has a show with his co-host Cyrus. They talk basketball, they talk pro, college, the draft, the game in the past, the game today, and Rick always provides a great opinion. It may not be the opinion you like, but he provides an opinion. So I would encourage you to watch his show.
He's going to have a lot to say this week.
I bet. So if Rick has a show and you are following him, you will see a notification on your phone that there's an upcoming show. He's got me on timer. Yankees Coast to Coast.
Whoa!
Yankees Coast to Coast. Our friends Mike Miller and Adam Schneider have a weekly show. It'll be their next show is tomorrow. It's at 4 p.m. Pacific. They talk everything Yankees. Tomorrow's topic. Longtime Yankee announcer John Sterling announced this week he's retiring.
Yeah, out of the blue.
Age of 85 and moving on. So Adam and Mike are going to talk about him, his greatest moments, his greatest faux pas, and they'd like everybody to share anything they can remember about Sterling with the Braves and the Yankees, and any other bad announcer moments. Hall of Fame has a show hosted by John Rieger and Barry Smith. John is a professional. Barry is a former pro football player. But what they have in common is they're both in the Florida Sports Hall of Fame, and they host a show which highlights the folks that are in the Hall of Fame, like Wade Boggs and Fred Biletnikoff, Gary Koch from a few weeks ago. So look again for these shows coming up in the upcoming parts of the Mic'd Up app. All right?
Perfect.
That's a really nice purple shirt you have on.
All right, so why don't we give you guys first crack at number 1, just in case you guys want to get going into the game.
We're hoping as we walk into the game we'll turn the audio off, but we'll show you the ticket taking process and where our seats are. If we're still live, we're gonna.
We can't wait.
So My number one, frankly, is just this. I wish you guys were here with us. It's always more fun when the three of you are with the rest of us. But the Imports do a thing called the Silver Sluggers, and for the 50 and over guys, it's $35, and you get every Wednesday home game for the year. And we sit right down in the lower box in the first 5, 6 rows behind home plate, and just have a blast. And you can see all the guys lingering and meeting up and saying hi to each other for the first time in a while, and that it's a lot more social here than it is like at the major league game. So it's a great different feel. I know Marty goes to a lot of AAA games and feels the same way. It's just
Yep.
the experience you really got to take advantage of. You get good quality baseball, but you also get good quality humanity as well. So this is it for me. This is number one for sure. Hanging out with these guys and watching some.
Well put. Well put.
Weber staggered off again, so.
Okay.
Oh wait, back.
Did I hear my name?
Yes.
Oh.
Not in a positive vein, though.
Another unique experience at a San game from the past. Went to a game one night and got to watch before this game the San Jose Sunbirds play. Ever heard of the Sunbirds? No. Okay. The Sunbirds are a professional women's softball team that played in San Jose in the late 70s for about 3 seasons. There wasn't a lot of scoring in the game, so most of them were 1-0, 2-0, but they were good, very good players, and they set up the field at San Jose Muni so they could showcase a game they played against a team from Tacoma. Really good athletes. Um, I always laugh because most of the players, the top 10 players in the league, had ERAs under 1. There wasn't a lot of scoring. But
What year? What year was this, Rob?
Be about 77 to 80, right around in there. I still have giveaways from that night.
Huh.
Jeff, tell them on Mercari.
Yeah.
All right, who's up? Terry?
Sure.
All right.
Actually, we skipped my number two. Number two for me was Madison Bumgarner in 2009 in San Jose. My number one is also in 2009. Was with the Single A San Jose Giants. Buster Posey. And San Jose Giants' favorite condiment is churros. It's not a condiment. That's a snack. Okay, Jonesy.
I was right.
My number one took place at the same place Rob and Rob are right now, and it just took place last week. My son won a contest with the Stockton Ports.
Oh, yeah.
And he got to throw out the first pitch of the game and go into the announce booth and announce 4 batters for the Stockton batters. And that was a lot of fun. And whenever the
Sorry, I was going to say, what's the backstory on how he got to do that?
They had a contest to design a jersey for the mascot. And they picked his as the winner. So when the jersey, it hasn't been received yet from the manufacturer. So when they get it, they're going to invite us back. I don't know if he's going to get to do anything, but they're going to invite us back to the game when they debut the jersey.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
From there.
Huh?
Got to do a live show that day.
We should. We definitely should. Yeah.
Cool. Marty?
All right. Bear with me because the story's a little involved, but I thought the punchline was pretty terrific. This goes back to June of 1995. My sister, brother-in-law, we would always go to the College World Series, which was in Omaha. We had some old family connections and friends that we would go to one night. We'd go to the Sioux City Explorers in Sioux City, Iowa. It was an independent league team, And through old family connections, we knew the manager of the team and all that kind of stuff. Um, earlier that year, I was living in Denver at the time, and that was the first year of Coors Field. So in the inaugural game at Coors Field, a bunch of us from the office sat out in the outfield on the rail and watched the initial game, the inaugural game in Coors Field. Now here's the punchline. Few months later, I'm in Sioux City, Iowa, watching a minor league team, and the opening pitcher for that game that night was Oil Can Boyd. Remember Oil Can Boyd?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we went to the ball game. And I said we had a family connection. We knew the manager. So after the game, everybody goes to this pizza place in Sioux City. It's a small town, remember now, Sioux City, Iowa. We went to Bob Rose Pizza, and we were at the table with friends and family. The manager of the team was there talking to, and I was telling the story about being in center field bleachers at the inaugural game at Coors Field, and a gentleman behind me who was at the table right behind me and says, "I was in center field too." What? He was a center fielder for the New York Yankees.
No kidding.
No, wait a minute. Hold it. Think back. And I said at the beginning, 1995. What happened? That was the strike season. And what did they do? They brought in replacements and had him play
Oh.
3 games, maybe even 2, before they broke the strike and had. And I said, so that guy, of course, when you
Yeah.
he was blackballed, of course, because he went against the union. But now, months later, he's playing in Sioux City, Iowa, for that one game. He was the center fielder for the New York Yankees at the inaugural game at the Coors Field, and I was heckling him from about 15 feet behind. And we shared pizza and beer 4 months later. That's a great story. That's terrific. You never know
That's
That's a
about
great story.
the people in baseball. Great time. That's my story. Thank you.
I think that is everybody, right?
Yeah.
Everybody go
So
number one.
Hey,
time
pretty
for some.
good. Best for last, right? Pretty good, guys.
Yeah. Well, second best. I mean, come on, Max.
Oh,
Max Jones throwing out the first pitch of the
all right.
costume is
I
pretty
just
much
looked.
like the pinnacle.
You wait a minute. I got to be second place to a kid. Wait a minute.
I just looked up what the salary is for a pro mascot. $65,000 a season.
It's not
How
about
about
the money, Terry.
Keep going, Max.
Keep going. Hope you
It's
can
worth
sell insurance.
it's worth it.
so? How about some comments? We'll start with one because Rob's still alive. Go ahead and say it, Rob.
Oh, it must be Ezra von Mermelschwanz.
Ezra von Mermelschwanz coming at you from Yankees coast to coast. Don't really have 5 here, guys, but the highlight of my minor league baseball experience was a bluefish game in Bridgeport when my little 12-year-old daughter, Olivia von Mermelschwanz, got to sing the national anthem in
Wow.
front of a whopping 700 people in the stands. What a great time.
That's the best story he's ever told on this show.
And he's got one more.
This got me thinking less about a moments, but the genuine quality of minor league baseball versus major league. Certainly not the quality. You can tell the delta between the skill level of the players that we see on a minor league level, aside from maybe 1 or 2 players, and the guys we see in the major league level. But it's the connection and the genuineness of the connection between the town and the team and the players and the fans that makes the experience so full and real.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Good point.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Yep.
That's right.
And he knows how to work 30 seconds, man.
Yeah. And we've all been to the fantasy camps, and the camp when sitting there having a beer with the minor league coaches. I asked him, what does it take to get it to the next level? Is it the carrot? Is it the stick? What do you? And the answer blew me away. He says, you got to know the guy. It's a people thing. What does he want? What does he need? What does you need to give him for that last step before he gets there? It's not baseball at all. It's the guy and knowing the guy and figure out what he needs, what he wants to further his career. I thought that was a great answer. Blew me away.
Very good answer.
Yeah.
We got a comment from Big Juicy.
I would like to second Ezra von Mermelschwanz's
Oh
comments
no.
about
Oh
the
no.
bonding between minor league teams and the community. And my example is the Hillsboro Hops on 4th of July. They've got quite a bit of entertainment going on, including a fireworks show after the game. And the players and their host families or their regular families are on the field along with everybody else to watch the entertainment. A great environment.
Hard to argue with that logic.
Yep.
Yep.
Hillsboro Hops, is that in the peninsula?
And that's
No, that's Oregon, isn't it?
Right outside of Portland, Oregon. Yeah.
And he's
I
back.
mean,
Huh.
Probably the most entertaining moment I've had at a minor league game was last year at an Aviators game in Vegas. They were playing the Rainiers from Tacoma, and one of the Rainiers hit a home run into the pool that's out in the center field bleachers area. No one went in the pool to get the ball since it was cold and at night, but plenty of them were around the edge of the pool pawing at the water trying to get the ball to drift towards them. And after maybe about 5 minutes or so, some lucky guy grabbed the ball and everybody erupted in cheers.
The things that entertain minor leaguers.
yep.
And live from the ballpark, or recorded live from the ballpark.
JC here with some minor league moments. In 90s, I went to Albany for the Albany Colony Yankees game. Saw that. That was a fun time. Number 4 would be actually playing at Sacramento's Raley Field. That was an experience. Also in the late 90s. Number 3 coming up.
He sounds awfully winded for a guy that's been sitting in a chair in a parking lot for half
You're too cruel.
Number 3 is going to be mentioned tonight, I'm sure, by the boys. It is Stockton Port's Old Farts Night, politely called Silver Sluggers, where we harass the umpires and have a lot of fun at Port's games on Wednesday night home games. Number 2, coming up.
He certainly knows how to not use up 30 seconds.
Number 2 is actually Sam Lynn Field, home of the Bakersfield Blaze, and
sure.
we got to play a ball game down there in Bakersfield in the heat. It was fun, but grueling. And then number 1 is Edmonds Field in Sacramento, where I saw the San Francisco Giants play an exhibition game against the Cleveland Indians.
Oh,
Wow.
great.
Nice. And the only thing left is a comment from something that was said earlier in the day.
Marty, your background or your room looks like you're getting ready to do a business show somewhere at a conference, and you got wares to sell.
Thank you.
How
Thank
much
you.
is that Kruko jersey?
That's why they call him Flea Market Brown.
Add that to my other list of nicknames. Great.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
So that's it for comments. Anybody else got anything to bring up? Any honorables?
I just want to I just want to ask Terry to show that sign again. There we go, and we all love you very much, and you're in our thoughts and prayers daily. So
Yep.
God bless. All the best.
Thanks, boys.
Yep. Enjoy
Cheers,
the game.
Bonnie.
Enjoy the game.
We'll do live updates throughout the evening. I guess not.
That's what I'm afraid of. Yeah.
All right, I think we'll wrap it up then.
Cheers,
Great.
boys.
Have a good night, boys.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Almanac.
Thank you,
fun.
Thank you,
everybody, for
everyone.
watching.
Have fun at
Thank
the
you.
game.
Thank you, Almanac, and we'll see you next time.
Go Ports.
Go Ports.